Good morning, and welcome to the Crafty Canary for In the Word on Wednesday. Today's passage is from Isaiah 43, verses 1 and 2. It says, "But now, thus says the Lord, your Creator, O Jacob, and He who formed you, O Israel, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers they will not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched, nor will the flame burn you." This passage is not so much one about depression or sadness as it is one that we can memorize and use to comfort ourselves when we are going through sadness and depression. In fact, the previous chapter of Isaiah talks about how the people of Israel had run after other gods and idols and had refused to walk in the way of the Lord, causing themselves much calamity and grief and sadness. And we would kind of expect chapter 43 then to start with God's wrath and judgment. But no, what does God say? He says, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine." And when God talks about the fact that he has called them by name, he is referring to that close, intimate relationship that he had with his chosen people. He created and chose them by an act of his will. And what a comfort that must have been to the Israelites, and a comfort that it can be to us as well. Now, we are not the nation of Israel, but we can still find comfort in reading about and remembering the things that God did for his chosen people, Israel. And if we are believers, we also are redeemed and we are his. The New Testament tells us that we are a new creation in 2 Corinthians 5:17. And Ephesians 2:10 tells us that we are his handiwork. So we are his. And when God says, when you pass through the waters and through the rivers, he's referring to the Red Sea, the parting of the Red Sea, and when the people of Israel crossed the Jordan River. So again, we see God reminding the people of Israel and telling them to remember the past and his past faithfulness so that they will trust him and not be afraid and know that he will be with them. I encourage you to do this as well. Remember, read the Old Testament and the stories of God's faithfulness to his people, and remember God's faithfulness in your own life. And as you remember, trust God for your present, for your future, and know that he will take care of you. Another exciting thing to me about this passage comes a little bit later in the chapter, in verses 18 and 19. Let me read those to you as well. "Do not call to mind the former things." This is God speaking. "Do not call to mind the former things, or ponder things of the past. Behold, I will do something new. Now it will spring forth. Will you not be aware of it? I will even make a roadway in the wilderness, rivers in the desert." So after reminding them of his past faithfulness, he's now telling them, don't remember the past. Don't remember all the great things, because I'm going to do something new, something beyond your wildest dreams that you could not even imagine. So let's think about that this week. Let's remember all the things that he has done, and let's look forward to the new things he is going to do in our lives, the new things he's going to do with us and for us. He has redeemed you, and he will be with you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.